magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday? And it's a special Saturday because it's Free Comic Book Day Saturday. So I hope you went out to your local comic book stores. But it is now the Transformers Slag Podcast starting at Saturday Night live stream main event. I'm your host, Protoman. I am the face that runs this place. I'm the voice you hear Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday. And what a Saturday it is. Probably the best day of the year, in my opinion. I love Free Comic Book Day. I love it so much because I go to my local comic book store quite a bit throughout the year to pick up my books. But when you go on Free Comic Book Day, it is a madhouse there. And it makes me very happy because while there is people just taking books for free and leaving, there's a lot of people there that also use an excuse to put money back into your local comic book store. So I picked up a whole bunch of stuff, so I'll show you guys that afterwards. You'll get to see some cool stuff. If you have not participated, sometimes your local comic book store will also do stuff on the Sunday. So go to freecomicbookday.com. They have a store locator on their website. It's on the top tab. I think it's on the right side. And they'll let you know what's the closest participating comic book in your area. Patrick Brown also has to say your Comic Book Day and Star Wars Day. Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes it works out like that because May the 4th. Free Comic Book Day is always the first Saturday of May. Sometimes it falls on May the 4th. Funny thing with that, the Lego store, if you have a Lego store in your area, I don't know if they're going to be doing it tomorrow, but because Free Comic Book Day and the Lego and May the 4th fall on the same day, local Lego stores, if you go to them, you get like a R2-D2 little crown thing for free, and you get a free Lego store magazine that's like pretty thick with comic books and stuff like that. So they have also some cool stuff going. Just a great day. I love it. I love it. It's my favorite day of the whole year. Like I wake up at like 8 a.m., drive down early. We line up early, hit my stores. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. But how we all doing? Got a lot to talk about Transformer-wise. Otherwise, let's see who we got in the chat today of YouTube members and Patreon people. We got Oscar is here. Will is here. Patrick. Again, thank you for the YouTube member question. Robotimus is here. We got Timmy K. Poindexter. We got JR Mina from the Philippines. Roman is here. Horned Owl T-Formers 2002. Want to make sure I'm not missing any of my Patreon people. We got Joseph Ritter is here also. Awesome stuff, Joseph. AI Dragon is here. Ashnut is here. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people today. They're all slowly rolling in one after another. Good stuff. Collector Prime is here. James Hopskin. So, we're going to cover some of the news. We're going to, also we have a little bit of a teaser. Not just a small teaser. I think we're going to do the full reveal next week for some upcoming Symbiote Studio Plush, as well as time progresses, San Diego Comic-Con exclusives too. So we'll stay tuned on that. But yeah, so let's get into the news. We'll cover all of that. We'll see what we got this week, and then we'll take some super chats from the fans. Once again, if you want to participate in the madness that is today, again, just hit that super chat button. Give your 2 cents on whatever the topic might be. But we're going to start first. We're going to start first with these listings that we saw early Sunday last week, and we covered them quite extensively here on the podcast and the individual segments. And it's this Transformers Decepticon Commander 3-pack Voyager, Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave. I've seen different arguments on what this could be. Some people are thinking this could be a Bumblebee movie kind of pack. Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave, some kind of movie 3-pack like we've seen with other movie 3-packs or movie multi-packs like the one below this one. That's a possibility. Some people are saying it's similar to the Nemesis Bridge that Takara Tomy had, which pretty much took those existing Earthrise-esque molds and just gave them the best possible color scheme they could get. So any answer could be correct at this point. Considering the Starscream's a Voyager, it could go one way or another because the Starscream from Bumblebee movie is a Voyager, so is the Earthrise one. The Shockwave, I mean, could be a gutted Shockwave from the leader class without the extra pieces. Could be a Soundwave from the Netflix one, giving us yet again another opportunity. We will see. We will see. Then we have the Transformers Generation Studio Series Multi-Pack Revenge of the Fallen 15th Anniversary Autobot Multi-Pack, Leader Class Jetfire, Voyager Class Optimus, and 2 Deluxes. I mean, a lot of people have speculated on what potentially those 2 Deluxes will be. I really think it's just going to be Jolt and Ratchet. I think they're just going to go back to those molds and give them one last paint scheme before they kind of retire them. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned new molds, but I doubt they'll do that for a multi-pack. These multi-packs are a lot of ways to take old tooling they already have and get some more money out of them. And on top of getting some more money out of them, also gives people an opportunity who may have missed out on picking them up to get a second chance, especially if you want to get your Voyager Optimus combining with your leader Jetfire. I mean, the Jetfire goes for pretty good money now in the secondary market. So to get one that has better paint scheme, hey, fantastic. We don't have a price on it yet, but if it's celebrating the 15th anniversary of Revenge of the Fallen, that means it's going to be a 2024 product. So we'll probably hear about this pretty soon. Might even be an SDCC thing. Who knows? So stay tuned for that. We'll have updates on it. But that's all we know for the time being. Prince and Phalanx 59 with the $2 super chat. I got Legacy Magmatron in Thursday. He's so sweet. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people posting it. Been seeing like they're starting to slowly ship out now. Unfortunately, us Quebecers, we kind of always are the last to get even with it's funny, even with the HasLab items. Like I noticed that like my fellow Quebecers, because I get sent the samples, so I get them after everyone practically. But I notice a lot of the Quebecers, like they usually get it last. It's just the name of the game, so I'll probably be expecting mine soon. But fantastic to hear that it's good. I know a lot of people have been very excited about it. I mean, it's taking that old Magmatron toy that was pretty much as posable as a football and making it incredibly posable and updating it, and it looks amazing. I love it. I think it's great. If you're a Beast Wars Neo fan, pretty sure we know what's coming next of the big convoy type. But yeah, great stuff. Happy to hear that, Princeton. I'm glad people love it. I know a lot of people are hyped about it. I got it through Hasbro Pulse. I don't know how the shipping's going to be for the other distributions, but probably all around the same time. Actually, Hasbro Pulse sometimes is the last one to ship out, so I don't know. I do not know. But anyways, these are the 2 listings we got to talk about. We also have a listing and an image. We have a first look from the Japanese side of things of Takara Tomy, and it's the Transformers Earthspark, Japanese Earthspark Deluxe Prowl. Now, the reason why this is kind of a big deal is because the Prowl that we are getting here in America is just a straight up repaint of the deluxe Cyberverse Hot Rod. And this one here is the one that actually makes sense, which is it actually uses the Cyberverse Prowl. I would love to know what the story was behind this, because when you look at the box art for the American Earthspark Prowl, it uses pretty much the art for this guy. So I don't know. Something funky happened. I think they just wanted to get more mileage out of that deluxe hot rod mold. They never did a black repaint of it, so I guess they wanted to paint it in something. If you want to use that hot rod mold, do the black repaint. I mean, he had a good stint in the show where he had the black color scheme, and I think it's the only Cyberverse hot rod mold that didn't get the black repaint. Oh no, actually, I think some of the larger ones too. I know that the ultimate one with that Energon armor didn't get the black repaint, and I think the other Energon armor one that had the bow and arrow didn't get a black repaint. But I know the tiny turbo changer did. The Warrior class one did. The One Step got a black repaint. So why not the deluxe? So, but whatever. We got this. So if you want to get technically not show accurate because he hasn't been in the show yet, but box art accurate, Transformers Earthspark Prowl, he is different painted than his Cyberverse counterpart, different paint decos in different areas. Blue fists, blue toes, as opposed to gray and black. But pretty cool. We don't have a release date yet, but if these have showed up on Takara Tomy's website already, it's only a matter of time now before these start showing up in retail. So pretty hype otherwise. Pretty cool. Then we had a pre-order that dropped. We finally learned what that optimal listing was, and it wasn't Optimus Primal. It wasn't Optimal Optimus. It wasn't a reissue of the Beast Wars masterpiece Optimus Primal. It's a reissue of the Transformers movie masterpiece MPM 12 Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie, which I think is fantastic because that's an absolutely amazing figure. And for $120 to get an opportunity to get it again that isn't being scalped, like, I mean, to give you perspective, the studio series version of this character was probably going for $120 at some points in the secondary market. Might as well just get the masterpiece. What's up, cringe? Might as well just get the masterpiece version. I'm telling you. At that point, you might as well just get that one. And this one's incredible with the removable matrix, tons of posability. Go check out the photo shoot just to know just what you're dealing with here. Fantastic figure, still available for pre-order. Gives people an opportunity to get, once again, an awesome fig. And it is what it is. But we'll see what happens because we still have more pre-orders coming in the near future. And of course, we also have here some Transformers 1 product. Now, here's what we could take away from this. We're going to know at least what some characters will be in the movie, their naming, and their alt modes. I mean, this is the cog changers. These are going to be $9.99, $10 pretty much. The one steps that have a different, it's a different twist on the one step idea. You kind of like shift up the transformation cog up their chest. It loads a spring, and then you push that spring, and they auto transform into whatever their alt mode might be. Again, the big takeaway from this more than anything else is, oh, hey, Wheeljack with at least some kind of animation model on the box. And oh, hey, that spider lady we saw in the trailer is indeed Arachnid and has an Autobot logo on the side because everyone's an Autobots, at least up to that point. Sides will be chosen later for sure. But Arachnid, at least we know now, in some shape or form, who she is and how she looks. Will she get a better toy later on? Will this be the only Arachnid figure? I sure hope not. But Hasbro finally brought that trademark back from the ashes. So we'll see what's a poppin' with that. Then, of course, these are the robot battlers, a gimmick based kind of line, kind of channeling that Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I know that I want to say, man, it was like 10 years ago or something that Hasbro did the Battle Masters, which were kind of a Rock'em Sock'em robot with Transformers that wasn't well received. So they're kind of returning to that general idea, but with something that's more accurate to the source material, where the I think was it called the Battle Masters? I think it was. I think that was the name for it because I know they've used that trademark across different things. But the Battle Master price point didn't really match the animation models of the characters. They were more stylized interpretations. These ones are more accurate and closer to at least these movie Transformer 1 interpretations. So you got the Optimus, you got the Megatron. They come in a 2-pack for $29.99, $30, kind of your starter pack in a lot of ways. You get the 2 figures, the 2 stands, and 4 different weapons that you could use for them to swing and bash at each other. And then you got upgrade singular packs for $14.99. So you could get just Bumblebee, just Alita 1, which now we learn through this, her name is Alita 1. It's not Ariel. And we get a nice shot, at least, of how that alt mode is going to look much better due to a figurine here. But the big takeaway is Sentinel Prime. So indeed, the blue robot in the trailer is Sentinel Prime. And now we know how his alt mode looks. And he's got that kind of like jet kind of, he's a mixture of multiple things because you look at his head sculpt and you're like, oh, a little bit of Transformers animated, also with the blue Transformers animated, but having some kind of a jet flight alt mode, a little bit of Titan's Return, a little bit of orangey caramel there, so you got a little bit of Dirge going on, or even if you want to go into a deeper cut, Treadbolt, the classics color scheme, which was a repaint of Jetfire. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. I'm pretty sure whoever was coloring and designing this kind of really didn't think of any of those. And at most, probably Transformers Animated's Sentinel Prime is probably the only foundation that really pulled from anything here. The Tick, if you will. So Derek Wyatt's creations still live on to this very day in some shape or form, in this case, in a movie. Much like how, in a lot of ways, Movie Hound is Bulkhead. So these ones are going to be $14.99, and they are all going to come just with one stand and one individual weapon with a unique hilt tooling on them. They look the same, the weapons, but they actually have slightly different sword hilts on them. So check those out. And then, of course, we got this guy here, the Power Flip Optimus Prime. This is going to be the big fancy price point toy. It transforms from Orion packs to Optimus Prime with lights and sounds and phrases. And then with a flick of the switch, kid's gonna grab the arms and hoo ha ha! And then he becomes Ultimate Optimus Prime, which is kind of a fusion of using the Energon armor gimmick that Cyberverse did with the spin changer gimmick that we kind of saw through both Cyberverse and Earthspark, and also transforms into alt mode. Also has lights and sounds, weapons. He has a shield. He has his Energon axe. He has a sword. So the big price point toy, this is going to be $49.99, the $50 big price point item. Much like how we had with Rise of the Beast, we had the auto transforming Optimus Primal, that ultimate Optimus Primal with the lights and sounds and the phrases. This is going to be our big fancy item for this movie here for the kids to want to have under their Christmas tree or birthday. So we will see what happens with that. But check it out, yo. This will be $49.99 popping up in stores. And if you're a patient one, probably just wait for a sale. If you want to get them, but you think $50 might be a little much, maybe wait for a sale. History has taught us that the big boys tend to find their way into the sales section as time progresses. And then, of course, let's talk about Hot Wheels. So we finally get some decent info on our Transformer Hot Wheels. A individual in China managed to get a full undisturbed case that Bumblebee is going to come in. And what we've learned is, much like with many Hot Wheels products, it's going to be a master case of 72 vehicles, and most of those vehicles will be two per case, which sounds like, oh no, it's going to be tough to get Bumblebee. But my Hot Wheels collector friends have reassured me, usually the two per case stuff are the stuff that they don't gun for, the collectors. They go for the one per case. They go for the treasure hunt stuff, which is the even more rarefied stuff in the cases. So the two per case stuff, like Bumblebee here, won't be an issue. And they've even said, like, the average Walmart usually gets like 10 to 15 cases. So you'll probably have like between 30 and 40 of these Bumblebees per store. So it won't be too big an issue. And the best part of it all, it's a standard mainline Bumblebee. It's going to be $1.20. So it'll be cheap to pick up too. I think it's $3 if you're Canadian. Um, and it's going to have, on the bottom of the vehicle mode, just to kind of keep true to Transformers history with diecast, it's still going to have a little sculpted something on the underside of the vehicle. So you'll have a Bumblebee G1 head on the front of the vehicle. It's going to have the Hasbro trademark on it, along with Mattel, to still acknowledge that this is something special. It is what it is, but it's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it. And hey, man, for $1.20 to get a nice, cool little diecast Bumblebee for your shelf, he can't go wrong, in my opinion. Hot Wheels, I don't know how they do it, but they somehow pull it off. I mean, fans were actually complaining in the Hot Wheels community because up until the Big V, it was 98 cents for these mainline Hot Wheels, and they had to go to 120 because of inflation. It's diecast. I'm surprised they still get away with it after all these years, but they've been pulling it off and manufacturing out of Malaysia for quite a long while, and it continues. So again, he's going to be two per case. Go check out the individual segment that I did on this. I have the deeper information, the case number, the assortment number, what to look for, what other characters are in that case. Excuse me, cars are in that case. So if you see those cars in your local Walmart, that case has probably already shown up, and you could just keep an eye out for it. So check that out. And we're not done with the Hot Wheels, because we also got our first look of the Track Fleet Hot Wheels Optimus Prime. What Track Fleet is usually when Hot Wheels does their trucks, they actually do them to scale with their 1x64 vehicles. The problem is, if you do a truck that's to scale with their 1x64 vehicles, they don't fit on the Hot Wheels racetracks, because trucks are obviously much larger and wider. So the Track Fleet was, well, we know people that love trucks. They want to be able to put trucks on their Hot Wheels tracks. So we're going to make track fleets, which are smaller. They're kind of out of scale in a lot of ways, but they could be put on your connections. So something like this, I get a feeling if you put this next to the Bumblebee, it's going to kind of look kind of weird. The Bumblebee's going to be pretty large next to this Optimus Prime's like cab front mode. But that's where also, we have a listing from Mattel Creations on May 21st at 9 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time of a Optimus Prime that probably is gonna be to scale with the 1x64 stuff and will be a car carrier. So stay tuned for that May 21st, and we'll find out. That'll be a Transformer Tuesday. We'll learn more about that in the morning. But this one here, this is going to be the track fleet. Optimus is going to be the only Transformer related one in it in the case assortment. I don't know how this case assortment is. We don't have the information currently, but we'll get to that. $11.99, 12 bucks, a larger 1x64 scale track compatible Hot Wheel product, more or less. Prince of Phalanx 59 complaining about 120. They should come over to Transformers and action figure side. It's a different world. I think it's also probably from the scalper mentality because a lot of those guys buy and sell. So I think that extra 20 cents probably cuts into their profit margins. Who knows? I am vaguely familiar with that world. My father is a die-cast car collector, but he doesn't dabble in Hot Wheels. He dabbles in the more vintage, even older than Hot Wheels, dare I say. So like he doesn't participate in that, those guys chilling at, and I remember back in the day waiting outside, and this, mind you, this was a long time ago, but I remember back in the day waiting outside of Toys R Us, like during that Energon time, 2003, 2004, and there was like 5 or 6 middle-aged guys there waiting with us, and they looked at us and they were always giving us looks like, why are these guys waiting here? I remember when the doors opened, all 4 of them just started running in like crazy. And I'm like, uh-oh, I hope they're not going to the Transformer stuff. And no, they went straight to the Hot Wheels. I don't know what was the hot item at the time, but they were definitely going crazy for it. These guys, even they break open cases. So I don't know. That's that world. I'm not from that world, so I can't judge, but it is what it is. T-Formers 2002 with the $2 super chat. A carrier would be perfect for a Hot Wheels Ultra Magnus. Well, it's coming. It's coming. I mean, the way, from what I was told from the Hot Wheels guys, they said that when there is a trademarked or a licensed brand that's used with the mainline stuff, what usually happens is Mattel, because it's so easy to manufacture it and they have such a quicker turnaround, they trickle this stuff out very slowly. So, like, to give an example, they would give us something like Batman. Like, they're like, oh, we have the Batman license. So, we're going to put every wave, we'll put one Batmobile or one Joker mobile or something, or a variant or a color scheme. And it's Hot Wheels. You want to talk about repaints? Transformers has nothing on Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels are the kings of repaints. They're still repainting molds that they've been using since the 1960s that they've used probably 12, 20, 30, 40 times. So that's how they're probably keeping their costs down, because their tooling costs are almost nothing. But this Optimus is actually a brand new tooling. So you're probably going to see an Ultra Magnus repaint and retool. You're probably going to see from the Bumblebee all the repaints. Red Bumblebee, Glyph, Tap Out, Bug Bite, a Nemesis Bumblebee in in a in a black repaint. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll see. But I am a little I'm a little excited about it and curious. And again, I always say the cost of admission, to get involved, the cost of admission for this. I mean, especially with the Bumblebee, it's $1.20. More people spend that on coffee. More people spend that. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, brother? Like, more people spend that on coffee. More people spend that on practically anything in their life. More people spend that on parking. So to get a cool little die-cast Bumblebee affordably on your desk, can't go wrong, in my opinion. Can't go wrong. And that's it more or less for the news. We just had that Fleet Optimist, and that's it more or less. There is going to be some other stuff this week. We will see. We will see. There's some stuff on the Chinese message boards that are probably going to be popping up probably this week. So we'll see. I'll leave it to them to on the Western message boards to talk about it first before we get into it. But that's it, more or less. So before we get into what we picked up on Free Comic Book Day, we're just gonna go through some sponsor stuff. Might as well cover that in the time being. Let me just see what other people are saying. Ashnud, I'm a sucker for the 2 mil from Hot Wheels. I have over 100 different versions of it. Is that like one of the car molds? I know that as a kid, I had the Baja Volkswagen, and as a kid, like, I had like the white one because I really loved Herbie the Love Bug as a kid, so that was like the closest I had to a Herbie. And growing up, going, past the Hot Wheels aisle, I'd always see that mold over and over. Like, here it is in red, here it is in hot, oh, here it is in, underwater hot cold color change. Like, and I was like, wow, they just milk something from my childhood. But that mold probably goes back to the 70s and the 60s for all I know. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's get into sponsorship. Let's talk about Symbiote Studios rocking the Grimlock Me Want to Munch Metal shirt today. Pick up all the latest plush. We got the new Hot Rod chilling over there, and you probably can't see him. He's chilling on the side there. Ultra Magnus got them all rocking out. These are what are available on the website right now. There's new ones coming very soon. Next week, we will have a brand new reveal of a brand new, actually two of them, two brand new Symbiote Studio plushes, as well as we have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one that's going to be coming out very soon too. So that's going to be really hyped. I've seen all of those. They're looking really good. People are going to want to pick these up. So next week we will have that big reveal and everything like that for some of this. So check that out next week for some more Symbiote Studio plush. The ongoing official Transformer plush initiative, going strong, going amazing. Nothing has ever been done like it before, and I can't imagine it'll ever be done like it ever again. We've had Softimus, 2 releases. We had like power plushes from, I think it was Hallmark, like 3 releases, 5 releases. We have like one-offs here and there officially. This is the ongoing plush initiative. We're going to try to see how many characters we could get out of this for your army of plush on an official capacity and keep it affordable for you. Look, I love the handmade stuff that we see in Artist Alley, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. These won't, and they're official, and they're cuddly, and they're huge. They're about 12 to 13 inches with a big old head. Big old head. Look at that. That's my hand next to it. To my boy Hot Rod. And then of course you got this the last San Diego Comic Con exclusive, the Slag, and you got little Catnip Bravo chilling on top there if you want to get him on the website too. So check that all out. That's all popping on the website, as well as all the other Hasbro related plushes, the Snake Eyes, the Cobra Commander, the Power Ranger stuff, the My Little Ponies, the few pins that are still available in stock. Most of them have gone on sale and have sold out. But go check those out. And of course, if you are in the San Diego area during San Diego Comic Con, be sure to check out the Symbiote Studios booth and pick up stuff in person. I will be there along with a bunch of other cool folks. So come by, say hi, pick up some cool shirts and t shirts and everything like that. And we have Aaron Archer in the chat. We got some Aaron Archer stuff. We got the Art of Transforming Robots man himself. We got Toy Armada with our latest episode, which is the behind the scenes of Energon and Superlink. Go check that one out. Aaron also did a pack cracking segment of the old Armada trading cards. So see if he cracks some, was it the gold parallels and the silver parallels and the rares? Get yourself a Duelor trading card because he's the man, Duelor. That's Duelor's rookie card was in there. So that's some hype stuff too. Go check out those segments on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you're subscribed here, you should be subscribed there. You should be subscribed there too. And then, of course, we got also the Art of Transforming Robots Volume 2 Color Edition. I was literally, no joke, I was in line today talking with someone at Free Comic Book Day. Shout out to Pulse Dragon. And he's like, man, I got to get Volume 2 from Aaron Archer. I got Volume 1. I didn't get Volume 2. So he's going to try to get one. Get these while you can before they sell out. $20. And then for an extra $15, he will do a custom sketch on the inside cover of that book. Volume 3 is on its way, so stay tuned for that one. Will be making its debut this summer at the convention scene. So check that out too. Check that out also. And of course, we got some new additions to the Posca paintings. We got the Jetfire. So if you want to go pick up some original art from Aaron Archer done on the original 20-plus-year-old instructions on some of these for sure, which is wild when you think about it, especially that alternator stuff. Man, alternators is 20 years old. Ah, God, 20 years old. Ah, jeez. That section is 20 years old, all of those. Man, so yeah, go get yourself that smoke screen or get yourself some Energon stuff. Or, I think that was, what was his name? Insecticon, that one. I think they called him Insecticon. The Jetfire, the 2-pack from RID, get a Ramjet, all the goodness. It's all on there. Check it out. Get it before it disappears. Delicious stuff. Delicious stuff. And that's it more or less for the sponsorships. Again, go check them out. ArcherMonster.com, SymbioteStudios.com, and Hasbro, not Pulse, but Hasbro's YouTube channel. Go watch some episodes. It helps them with their algorithms and everything too. All beautiful. All beautiful. So let's lean over. It was free comic book day today. This isn't even everything I bought. This is just all I was gonna bring down because I bought a lot of stuff. I want to give a shout out to Cosmic, Comic Hunter, Mark the Comic Hunter. Uh, those are my two stomping grounds for quite a few years now for comic books, Transformer comic books, and everything in general. I used to go to Sci-Fi Anime back in the day. Shout out to Lou, who's a legend in the Montreal toy scene and anime scene. He, during COVID, decided to finally retire his store after, 30 years. And I shifted all my comic books and everything to these two guys from that point on. And they have been great dudes to me, and I always want to give them praise and shout out. And whenever it's free comic book day, I go to their stores, but I also try to buy stuff just to kind of give back. Because the reality is, guys, with free comic book day, they have to pay for those books. They buy them so you guys could get them for free. And if you guys could pick up a book in the process, if you pick up three books and you buy one book, it helps them towards those three books that you picked up. So I picked up a bunch today, bunch of good stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff. My three books that I picked up, we'll go with the obvious one, of course. Energon Universe, the 2024 special. What's special about this one? This is Hot Rod's first appearance in the Skybound universe now. So, in the brand new Transformer books, you want to get Hot Rod's first appearance, it is right here. Check it out. Great. It has a bunch of stories. It has a Void Rivals story, a Transformer story, and a G.I. Joe story. All of them with cool little stuff going on in there. Don't want to spoil, but definitely check that one out. If you didn't go out today, check your local comic book shop probably tomorrow. They'll probably still have extra inventory and they'll probably be willing to hook you up. Maybe they might be $1 each now for the free comic book, but still, I mean, it's a nice, I think it's like a 35-page book. This is a thicker one. It's much thicker than your normal 28 book because there's 3 different stories in here. So go check that one out. Great stuff. Then, of course, want to give a shout out to my boy Matt Moylan and Joshua Perez. They worked on this one, a bunch with other talented people. This is the Udon Comic Street Fighter versus Final Fight book. So, two guys that have had a huge history in the Transformer world. Matt Moylan with Little Formers and a lot of stuff with Udon, and of course, Josh Perez doing coloring for practically 50% of all the Transformer comics in the 2000s and 2010s. So, they also worked on another fantastic book. So check that one out too. Also, if you could pick it up. And gotta love my Initial D book. What's awesome about this one is that the first couple pages are actually in color. This is actually a pretty much it's the first chapter, if you will, of Initial D. Look at that 86 Corolla. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. So the first couple pages are in color. Then, of course, it then reverts to its black and white nature. This is pretty much a advertisement for the Initial D. Here, I'll show you guys who are curious. For the Initial D omnibuses, which they're going to be releasing. Long story short, Initial D never got a proper translation here in America. It's a whole story with Tokyo Pop. Hey, Fast and the Furious is popular. We're not going to use Japanese names. We'll use Americanized names. So go check that out. Another great one. Look, the front and back. This is what that drift, by the way. Anyone who's wondering that drift third party I was talking about, that's where that car came from. That's the masterpiece right there. So those were my 3 comic books that I picked up from my local stores, but I got a stack of books. Some notable ones, of course, you got to get the classic Amazing Spider-Man number. I picked this one up for $15. 282. Anything that came out during that month celebrating Marvel had those beautiful borders. Of course, people are usually familiar with the Transformer one that had Menassor's head in the middle here. This was a Silver Sable story issue. Great book. Was happy to finally add that to the collection. Picked up Web of Spider-Man, the annual number 4. It had a whole bunch of stories that I wanted to get. Again, a Silver Sable book. I love Silver Sable, so I always try to get stuff. This was a special one. This was when Hulk challenged Hulk Hogan for the use of the name Hulk. This was because when Hulk Hogan started using the name Hulk Hogan, he actually was paying royalties to Marvel. So there was a little story in this Marvel Presents talking about that. So love that one. Some more Wolverine books that I was missing from um, my missing list. This one I was missing for a while now, and I finally got it. Wolverine number 10. I was surprised I was missing this long. This was the very first time Wolverine met Sabretooth in canon, in a comic book, at least chronologically, from a fan standpoint. So that check out that one. This was just a Marvel, X-Men 1963 cover, but using the Disney guy. So I thought that was kind of cool. Pick that one up. Pick up the latest Transformer book. You got to do that, of course. One moment. I want to just fix some of the video here for you guys too. I want to make sure everything's okay. And there we go. But yeah, so a lot of really good stuff with that. Then what else did we get? We got Robin number 3, Cry of the Huntress, Barry Allen, Return of Barry Allen book. First appearance of Cable in the comic book and the cartoon version of X-Men, a bunch of Jim Lee Wildcat books. These were all also part of their free section because I mean, back in the day, the old Image Boys, let's just say they overprinted their books. Here's a nice key issue here. First appearance of Binary, which was Carol Danvers from the Uncanny X-Men, Catwoman number 0, Infinity Watch with, just picked up a bunch of books, whole bunch of stacks of Uncanny X-Men books I was missing. And that doesn't even scratch the surface. Um, they even had they even had sales on some of their action figures that they had there. So I picked up a 1987 Applause Wolverine figure. I love collecting the old Applause PVCs from Marvel because these were some of the very first figures I had as a kid. The very first Marvel figure I ever owned was a Thing Applause figure back in the day, and I still have it to this day. And I love collecting any of them. Obviously, Wolverine had so many. And I love this one. It's so cool with the little short claws and everything, and that early design. This was the 1987 one. I'm trying to find the Thanos one that's like this. And then I got a Sticks and Stones. Got me a GoBot. This was $15 Canadian, so about $11 American. And then they had 30% off all the loose action figures. So this came to like, I don't know, it came to like $8. So I already have them, but I figured I could pick them up. I'll bring them to a parts party. Someone will be able to get a good Sticks and Stones for cheap, rescue it from the store so that someone at TFCon could get it on the cheap. But yeah, laugh out loud, overprinted books doesn't do it justice. What's the image, guys? But you know what, though? You know what, though, Aaron? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, okay? I don't hate it. I actually like Wildcats. I thought it was a pretty good book in all honesty. Obviously, it's your classic we have X-Men at home kind of thing situation going on, but I didn't hate it. And the fact that this was part of the free section, because they have so many books that they're just like trying to get rid of. And I was just like, hey, I'll take some Wildcat books. You know what I mean? I always had number 1, so I'll take another number 1. I'll take 2, 3, 4. You know, good stuff. Good stuff. They even had like they had a bunch of stuff. They had a lot of like Now Comics stuff and everything. I mean, it was packed there. I was so happy to see how packed it was. But I mean, at the end of the day, great stuff. Great stuff. Very happy to see the store being successful and just, people going there and buying books. They easily probably made, when it was all said and done, probably like $90 for me. I took 3 books and then I gave them $90, for a bunch of other stuff. And I'm going to probably be going back there maybe in 2 weeks from now or something because they also have a thing where it's like, oh, if it's your birthday, my birthday's coming up later in May. I don't want to really bring attention to that. But when it's your birthday, if you go there, they give you a little 10% discount. So I'm going to use that as an excuse to buy some bags and boards and other things. I didn't want to bug them about the birthday thing, on Free Comic Book Day. It's the busiest day of the year for comic book store owners. So It's great stuff. Will Murphy, I took my daughter to Free Comic Book today and grabbed one of the 7 Skybound Transformers. Yeah, it's hey man, and all the different covers too of the free ones. So it's something where, if you have a kid, it's a great place to bring them because there's a lot of kid entry books. There's a lot of those. They always have a really good every year. Overstreet always has a free comic book that explains how to get into comic book collecting, and it's a comic book that explains how to, and they do it every year. So that's a really cool thing too that people could get if they want to get into the hobby. It's a great hobby, and it's in all honesty, it's a pretty affordable hobby because, like, considering how many billions of dollar bin books exist, and I love going into dollar bin stuff, finding weird stuff, finding books that nobody wants anymore, and they're good books. It's like I was looking through dollar bin stuff. There's all of like Savage Wolverine, Wolverine Max, Punisher Max. All this stuff is dollar bin. You pick up 5 of them for $5, you're entertained for a good hour. You know what I mean? You got a good couple of books there, and I love them. I love comic books. You find a nice rainy day, sit on the couch and read some books. I love it. I love it. Maybe I'm an old man and I love this stuff, but I love it. I love it. Robotimus, I got some of the Wildcat toys. They're pretty nice. I have a lot of those Wildcat toys and I love them. I love them. The Void one is my favorite one because she had all that chrome on her, which was pretty cool. I even have like the 2 packs, the vehicles with Grifter and everything. Like they're very cool. I love those Wildcat toys. Love them. The only ones I don't have is those big 12-inch ones because you could get them so cheap now. Now you could get them so cheap because no one cares about them. Such a shame. But I love bad 90s toy lines. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. So I picked up that stuff. And there's other stuff I got too. There was because they had pins. I picked up some pin stuff. They had like a cool tick pin I picked up. They had this pin from San Diego Comic Con that I picked up from the Hasbro booth. There was all kinds of stuff I bought there. It wasn't Transformer related. What else did I get? What else did I get there? I got a whole bunch of other things. Got little Simpsons figures and everything too. You know. But it was fun. It was fun. Again, it's my favorite day of the year. I love it. I love it so much just because it's so great to see it comic book stores packed with huge lines. I should have taken a photo of the line. I took a photo last year's line. I should have taken a photo of this year's line. It was a little rainy today here in Montreal, so I think maybe that's was I kind of wanted to rush back to my car with my stack of books. But there was a huge line because the store gets packed really quickly. And if you didn't go today, try to go tomorrow. Some stores still participate going into Sunday, and support your local comic book store. They probably, from my own personal experience, probably suffered the most during the big V and COVID and stuff like that. Like they probably suffered the most because their inventory was not able to be gotten to their customers. A lot of people who had pull bins just didn't show up anymore because comic books are such a tangible thing. They didn't want to touch something that someone else touched. They didn't want to go into the stores. A lot of them got hurt, and we lost a lot of great comic book stores over that period of time. So if you've been paying attention to the podcast, you'll hear that like I was talking about certain stores and some of those stores don't exist anymore. So it is what it is. So that's it more or less. For what we got this week, we covered the sponsorship. So we'll open it up to super chats from the fans and taking questions from everybody. We still got a good hour or so left, an hour and 7 minutes. So we'll do that. And then Proto Man's gonna have a busy day. Proto Man, I'm gonna have to I have like a little here, I'll even show you guys just to get an idea. I always have on my phone, I have a list of just like all the books that I'm missing. Oh, there. And I'm always like updating that list. Like, oh, I'm hunting for this. Oh, I'm looking for this Spider-Man cover. I'm looking like I was one of the things I was hunting for was the newer Amazing Spider-Man issue number 26. Wanted to get that one. Couldn't find it. I'll probably have to buy it online or. But it's great. It's great. I love my books. I love my books. It's always good stuff. Like being able to work on comic books with Perez and Alex Milne and all of those talented individuals, Damon Bat, getting to work with those dudes officially on comic books. Matt Frank, I got to work with, Thomas Deere. The only one I almost got to work with was Dan Kahana. We did a script on something and it never came to be, but getting to work with those guys, you know, fantastic stuff. Got to live a little bit of a childhood dream to work on Transformer comics, just comics in general. You know, person who had no clue how to do it. But Alex and Josh taught me very quickly. They know their stuff. They're good. They're good guys. Um, but yeah, so we'll just open it up to questions, and we'll just chillax the rest of the evening here today. See who's here. Will Murphy brought his daughter, which is fantastic. You know, it's tough. I mean, that's a part of the reason why Free Comic Book Day was spawned, was because they were just like, how do we get kids into comics? How do we how do we give them their first cigarette? That's kind of the best way to put it. And so they have a lot of very younger entry level comic books that are available, and they're smart because if you noticed, I showed a Transformer comic that's very Western inspired kind of book. I showed a Street Fighter book, which Udon is very, Eastern inspired kind of book, but still developed in the West. And then I showed you a manga, kind of book. So it gets people where it's like, hey, even if you like comic books, if you like manga, here's a piece of what manga is. You could engage with that stuff. So, there's something for everyone there. There's literally something for everyone. So go pick them up. Go pick them up. And they have all kinds of free stuff too. It's such a great celebration of geekdom in so many different ways. Toys, video games, everything's going on there. All around that snuggleness of comic book stores, which have always been great locations. Patrick Brown, you think Big Convoy will fit in the leader price point, or should he be a commander too? I would like it personally if he was a commander, only in the sense that if you make him a commander, make sure you just go out with all the extras. Like he could be a Voyager scale, leader-ish scale kind of figure that'll fit with Magmatron. I mean, like Bloody Tusks is back there, which is the black repaint. Like, but you have to have the opening chest with the Matrix. You got to have the big cannon, which the Matrix could attach to, and we'll have some, like wires that could attach to it. Maybe there'll be a light up feature, and that could be a justification for that commander price point to have two, like what is it, LR44 batteries in it or something, or pill batteries. So I would prefer if it was a commander only because I would want it to get the full treatment. Have it be done really well. Dare I say, have that mammoth mode actually be posable. That's the one problem. Big Convoy is easily one of the best Beast Wars toys ever made in robot mode. In alt mode, he probably is the least posable Transformer Beast Wars toy ever made. You pull his ears and the tusks go up but that's about it. Otherwise, nothing moves on him. The legs don't move. Nothing else moves. I'm trying to think of another Beast Wars toy that has less articulation in alt mode. I can't think of any. I think everything has more. Even Retrax has more articulation because of his little legs and the whole pill bug gimmick. You know, Proto, what's for dinner? I'm glad you asked. Took a photo of that. So we had some beef we had beef and broccoli, but more specifically orange beef with broccoli, with egg rolls, all kinds of good stuff. We obviously, after a great comic book day, we got some delicious Asian cuisine to take home and enjoy. So that was good. Love it, absolutely love it. So had that today. Um, oh, if you guys want to see, here's the new cat in the house. Ugh. Here is, say hello to everyone. This is Butters. I didn't name him. I'm holding him like this because he sheds like crazy and it's going to get all over my thing. So, look, I just touched him once. He sheds like mad, but he's a good cat. White cats are so smart. I don't know why. White male cats. I've had over 15 cats growing up with my parents because I had cats and dogs. I had like 8 dogs, 15 cats, 2 turtles. I lived in a crazy house. Um, but I don't know why white cats. They're really smart. They're really really smart. As long as they're not deaf though, because a lot of the white cats are deaf. But new addition to the Proto Man house, another cat, and he was a rescue. He's 6 months old, 6 years old. We picked him up full size. I like the rescue cats. A kitten, it's so easy to get a kitten. Everyone wants a kitten, but no one ever wants an old cat. So we picked up one. I didn't name him though. I didn't name him. So, but Butters works. Butters works. And maybe named after the South Park character. Uh, and he's good. He's good. Like when I talk, it's gonna be like Aaron's cat. Like when I'm talking, like all of a sudden he's like, "Hey man, hey, what's going on?" Let's see what else is poppin'. Tigatron. Giants Bleed went to get the Energon book and a new long box. Yeah, my buddy Pulse Dragon, he bought like long boxes and a whole bunch of stuff. He was looking for magazine holders and everything. That's in 2 weeks from now. I think in 2 weeks, when it's gonna be my birthday, I'm gonna go swing by and pick up some more great stuff. Gonna go pick up some more stuff. He's just looking at me now like, who are you talking to, man? He's new to the podcast thing. He's new to this. He's like, why is there times where he's just talking to himself alone? It's very weird, man. It is what it is. um, how many cats do I have? Two. I have two cats. I want to get a dog also. I want to get a dog also. Um, I always grew up with tons of animals since the day I was born. Really, the day I came into this world was one dog, one cat. Like, and then it went from one dog to three dogs, and we had at one point I was living in my parents'. We had three dogs, five cats, two turtles, two budgies. The budgies didn't last long, um, but the turtles we had for quite a long time. You can only imagine what their names were. The turtles. You could take a guess. No originality. On my part as a child, along with my sister. What's up, Bigums? Um, but yeah, you know, I'm a, I'm a big I'm a big animal person. I love animals. Always did, always did. If you want, like, the only time I ever smiled so much that my face hurt, I didn't even know it was a thing that you could smile so much that your face hurts. Was I went to a dog show once for the first time. It was maybe like 5, 6 years ago. I went to a dog show. Oh no, more than that. Oh man, the big V just screws up my timeline. Maybe more than that. Maybe 6, 7 years ago, I went to a dog show here in Montreal, and the whole time I was smiling for like 2 hours straight. I was smiling, and when I left, I was like, "Oh my god, my cheekbones are sore because I was smiling so much." It was so great, so great. Ask Jaws D or anyone; they know I'm like obsessed with dogs. I love dogs. Always loved dogs growing up. I love cats too, but dogs are next. Sorry, Butters, but dogs are next level. They're next level stuff. Um, you got an Akita. Those are stubborn dogs, though. They're a little stubborn, those ones. The Akita, but they're cool. They're cool. Those Japanese dogs. They look cool. They look cool. If, watch the movie Hachi. It's a Japanese movie called Hachi. I think no, it had it was they did a Western version, but watch the movie Hachi and try not to cry at the end. What a great movie. What a great movie. Patrick Brown, have you gotten any 2025 the Prime line Commander yet? Some leaks from JT Prime says I'm not sure about the Commander. Well, the general, understanding by people is is Silverbolt going to be the Commander class, much like Menasor was? Because Silverbolt, when you think about the scale, right, of the jets are all going to be deluxes, and then Silverbolt is that big, Boeing jet kind of thing going on. And so, like, the scale in a lot of ways would work if he was a commander class. Not to mention if you make, Silverbolt had a third mode that not a lot of people talk about. He had like a launcher playset mode that a lot of those Scramble City centerpiece commanders had. Well, commanders leaders had at the time, and it's just something where, if you want to implicate that kind of thing, and with that same screen accurate kind of combination, I could see that Silverbolt will be the commander. That's my kind of take. I mean, some people want to say, oh, he'll be a leader class, that'll be that, but I could kind of see him being the commander. It just kind of like, in the design of it just kind of makes sense, and I don't think people would complain, because you want to give them something that's different from the Combiner Wars one we got a few years ago. Like, when I look at it, it's like, yeah, okay, Silverbolt was a Voyager class and it was a bunch of deluxe jets, but do you want to do something different this time, something bigger, and making it a commander would just work. Would just work. Um, T Formers 2002. I don't really have issues with dogs, but I'm a cat person all the way. I'm both. I'm both. I had turtles. I love turtles. I thought turtles were cool too. I'm a big animal person. I love frogs. I love lizards. I love all that kind of stuff. Even bugs. I think bugs are cool too. You know, um, just had all of that growing up, so was always a lot of fun. Prince of Phoenix 59. What do you think the next Titan will be? That's a tougher one. That's a tougher one. I think we're revisiting some of the older big guys. I'm thinking maybe an Omega Supreme trademark refresh. Metroplex already got his Cybertron one, so maybe Fortress Maximus will finally get a new like I could see them going back to some of the classics and revisiting those again. So I could kind of see that. Um because I mean, look, I could say a unique idea, the Axelon, the dark side transforms. But at the same time, I think there's some big guys that need to be revisited from a trademark standpoint. So that's how I see it. That's kind of how I see it. We had pho. Pho is the best. Pho is one of my favorite things to eat. My mother-in-law makes it from scratch. It's probably one of the most amazing things ever. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. James Hopkins, my three cat. I have three cats, and then there are three strays that my wife feeds. Want a dog, but we don't have time for a dog. Well, that's the thing. Like usually, dogs are a bit more of a commitment. You got to walk them. Got to walk them. You got to pick up off of their poop. Some dogs are a little more needy. More cats, and that's why we had so many cats. Was some cats you just leave that window open and they go do their thing. They poop outside, they do the thing, they come back, they eat, they sleep in bed, at night, and then their cats are on autopilot. If in a lot of ways, if you have a house cat, it's a little different that you don't let out because then you got to take care of litter and stuff. We didn't have litter growing up; they were all cats that went out. So, like I said, autopilot, very easy to take care of. Animated Omega Supreme, Maybe we could get an Omega Supreme Action Master. Action Master Elite. I could see that. One of many. Proto, happy birthday month. Thank you, Timmy. It'll be in a few weeks. Does it fall on a Saturday? Let me check something. When does my birthday fall? Does it fall on a Saturday? And I never pay attention to this stuff. Um, oh, it falls on a Monday. Okay, good, good. It's better for me that way. I have an excuse not to do a party or anything. Um, Where are we at here? David Cabal with the $2 super chat. What toys do you think Void Rivals can be? Mask? Well, the rumor is, David, um, that the two main characters of Void Rivals is going to be in a San Diego Comic Con set. Was it a San Diego Comic Con set? I think it's San Diego. No, it's going to be the PulseCon exclusive set. Excuse me. We'll have the two main characters in that with Jetfire. I'm thinking something in that, and I know people are saying, "Oh, they don't really do the O-rings anymore," but an O-ring style-esque kind of 3 1/4 GI Joe. That's what I'm thinking to go with the Jetfire. What that Jetfire will be, I don't know, but we will see. We will see. Yes, I'm a Gemini too. May 27th. Um, Not that it matters. Does it really matter when your parents had sex, determining your zodiac, which then somehow makes people judge you based on that? Oh, you're a Gemini. That means you have two personalities. Sure. Okay. Um, Patrick Brown tonight was butter chicken with garlic and garlic naan. Yo, bro, that sounds amazing. I love butter chicken. Love it. Love it. My buddy Misam, who's at almost every single TF Con in Toronto, his mom makes insanely good butter chicken and fresh naan bread. So good stuff. Give a shout out to Misam, J Alvatron, as he's been called for many years in the fandom. Uh, where are we at here? Where are we at? I don't want to miss any questions from the YouTube members. My birthday is a couple weeks ago on the 24th. I am half a century old. Hey man, I'm getting there too. I'm in my 40s. Well, I'm 40 now, but you know, I'm 40. We're all getting old, brother. You know what? It doesn't matter if there's anything I've learned from my father, is it doesn't matter how old you are. It's all about here. He still collects like everything my father did when he was a teenager. He still does today. He still ice skates. He still plays hockey. He still bikes. He still collects records. He still collects die-cast cars. Nothing. He still watches hockey. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, and that's how you stay young. That's how you stay young. This man would bring me to comic book stores and everything and flea markets. That's how you stay young. We got a super chat. 1 second here. We got a super chat from Joseph Ritter for the $5. We got Remember Proto wants Funko Pops. Please no. No. You know what's hilarious? You know what's hilarious? Because certain someone sent me this, and guess what? He's out. He's gonna be in here because I get a feeling certain someone's gonna show up at a parts party. You know? I literally keep this near me to remind me this has to go with me when I go to Toronto. You know? Had to get the hot rod though. Real talk. But thank you, Joe. um Send him the worst one you'll find. Keep the tradition going. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Save your money. Save your money. Take that. What how much does a Funko cost right now? Because I think in Canada they're 14.99. I think it's something like that. Save your $10, go invest it in a HRA or an SMP investment, and thank me later in 20 years. Do that. Turn that $10 into $100. Um, where are we at here? Prince Function Design. Proto Man's alter ego is Hot Rod. You know what? I've always felt that in Transformers, I felt that because I remember I did a long time ago, years and years ago, there was this guy who did this really good like personality test, like which Transformer character you are, and it had like 100 different answers, and like it would really like put it down, and it said that I was like Blue Streak, like because it's talkative, friendly, makes jokes, and I was like, oh, I could see that. So I was like, I could see myself as Blue Streak, and Blue Streak had one of the best alternators that turned into a Subaru, so can't complain there. And he turns into a Datsun Z, which is a fantastic Nissan car today. So can't complain about that. David Cabal, I'm aware that life is short and trying to make the most of it. That's what you got to do. What's crazy, I find, is as you get older, it's Monday, and before you know it, it's the weekend. Before you know it, it's Monday again. It's wild how fast time passes. Make the most of it. Don't waste your time in front of screens all day. Don't like you might be talking to me right now today for 2 hours, but most of the day I spend with the people I love. I spend it with, I don't really spend much time in front of the screen. I do my Transformer stuff. I do the podcast for you guys, but I have a term. It's called post and ghost. Post it and get out. That's why people are like, how come you never respond to any of the comments in the videos and the podcast segments? Because I live my life, you know. I love Transformers. I love the engagement of it. But at the same time, you got to enjoy life. There's so much cool stuff out there. You know what kills me when I find people who like never traveled anywhere, like never went to another country, like just anywhere. If you're in the States, just go to Canada. If you don't want to make a big expensive vacation, just go to Toronto, go to Montreal, go to Vancouver, wherever you are, depending on the border. Just go over there just to get a culture shock. Have a poutine, a good poutine. That would be Quebec though, not Toronto. Or have like a hot dog, or just have a slice of pizza, or buy our very weird cereals that are very different from your cereal. Buy a box of corn pops. Have your mind blown. You know, get some Canadian chocolate bars. Realize how little sugar there are in them. You know, like I just enjoy the cool craziness of life. There's so much cool stuff. And I thank like Bakon for that in a lot of ways, because Bakon was the one that was like, "Hey man, we're going to be here, we're going to be here, we're going to be here." And it had me traveling all over the United States for so many years. Proto Man going streaking down the road. Hey man, I don't mind streaking. There's worse things you could do than running around naked, let me tell you. Joseph Ritter, most Americans never travel. Well, that was something I learned because I would go to Bakons through all the years during the early 2000s. I would go to Bakons and be like, "Hey man, you got to come to TFCon in Toronto." And the biggest hurdle was no one had passports, because and I can understand it. I will say this, because one thing about being a Canadian as opposed to being an American is that in Canada, you really only have three places that are worth going to. You have Montreal, you have Toronto, you have Vancouver. And I'll say this right now, Montreal's unique, Toronto and Vancouver, kind of same thing. So, and that's it. And none of them really have anything crazy special about it. Montreal has good food, Toronto has Hockey Hall of Fame, I guess. And Vancouver, I don't know, has Gary Chalk and Scott McNeil, I guess. So there's not much really going on. So we get passports because we want to travel. We want to go or check out New York City, check out Florida, check out LA and Hollywood and Las Vegas and let's go to Mississippi and let's go here. Let's check out Texas. Like there's so much cool stuff we want to check out where you guys most people don't want to go to Canada because it's like, oh, there's the hockey and poutine. So I get it. And if you're an American and you want to go on vacation, you go within your country because they're like just like how I go around your country. Oh, let's go to Disneyland. Let's go here. Let's go to the hall, let's go to the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. Let's go to New York and check out Times Square and everything. So I understand it. I do. But it's fun to travel. It really is. It really is. And I think that the people that are the most negative and toxic and angry at the world on social media today are some of the people that just never leave their fucking house, for lack of better words. It really is. It really is. It's dudes and gals that just need to chillax, just relax, get away from the screen, and just enjoy life. Prince of Alex 59 with the $5 super chat. Let's all go to Proto's house and bring Funkos. Please, come on, guys. Save your money. Please. Save your money. Save your money. Save your money. Oh, I missed another super chat. It's from Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. It's crazy how we're getting so many Optimus reissues and pre-orders, including Jinrai. Hope there's any Megatrons. Well, I'm pretty sure let's see, like what has been difficult to get. Like it hasn't been difficult to get that concept art Megatron. I've seen those already in retail and they're still sitting around. The leader class Armada Megatron, I saw him a few times already. I don't know if he's rare or not. I think we're gonna see sooner or later. Uh we'll see. Time of the end for the $2 super chat. What about the Energon Universe Hot Rod hard find? That cover, I believe that is a 1 of 20 cover, that a retailer incentive. You'll have to ask your local comic book store for that variant, but that would be the proper cover to get. Spoilers. I don't want to spoil. Go read the book. Go read the book. I don't want to spoil for you guys. Have you seen Has Been Hotel? Says Kevin PH with the $2 super chat. And by the way, thank you, Time on the End, for the super chats. Your very first one. Thank you. Um, I have not seen Has Been Hotel. Usually when I travel, I use all kinds of different apps. Now even I look at Airbnbs now because sometimes Airbnbs are really cheap. Like if you go to like Japan now, like you could get a hotel, but you could get an Airbnb that's like cheap. Cheap. And and that's some of the cheapest ways to travel in Japan is if you get a good Airbnb with a bunch of people, you know. If you don't mind sleeping in a small room, but who cares? It's all about going in the outdoors and enjoying the experiences, not being cooped up in your room. Anyone who goes to Japan to sit on their phone all day, shame on you as a human being. That's all I'm going to say. Because I know people that did that. They literally went all the way to Japan and then they were messaging me during the day when it was the evening for me during the day. And I was just like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just chilling in my hotel room. I'm like, go out there, man. Just go out there and sit and just enjoy the environment because you might not ever be able to do that again. Yeah, David Cabal, have you guys seen the Airbnb X Mansion? Yeah, that looks hype as hell. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I want to sleep in the danger room and get killed. That looks cool. That looks really cool. I saw that. That's really awesome. But you know what? That's a smart thing to do. Do these like themed Airbnbs. If you have like people who are really hardcore, they could do stuff like that. You know, get someone like paint up a room like the Ark. You know, have like a big TV screen that has Teletran One or something. I like it. I don't know what has been is. I don't know why people are freaking out, but whatever. Whatever. Someone mentioned the Super Megatron. That is a good point, though. The Super Megatron should get a reissue because that was a really good figure, and not a lot of people were able to get their hands on that because that was in that rarefied time of like people didn't have a lot of money, the big V, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, but that's one definitely. What's up, G? He's back. He's hearing me talk. What's up? Now I'm gonna be like Aaron Archer. I'm gonna have a cat that's gonna be bugging me every so often. This one's a little more needy than the last one because he's new. What's up? Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, but definitely if you could get a Super Megatron affordably, that's a really good figure. And it's, I mean, it's the first time we've had that character, despite the fact that he's been around since 1992, 91. Operation Combination and Return of Star Convoy was 91. Sorry, let me double check in the manga compilation. If you have not gotten them yet, shame on you. There he is. Oh, look at that jet mode. Yeah, 92. 1992, drawn by Obari-san and the whole Studio Ox crew back in the day through Comic Bonbon magazine. Good stuff. Great stuff. James Hobson's, yeah, that Super Megs was a heavy Titans return Galvatron mold. Prefer a new mold. Well, I mean, maybe one day we'll get something new. Maybe we'll get something new one day. The thing with that is that's not a trademark one. You know what I mean? Like if Hasbro would have had Super Megatron as a trademark, then we could expect something at some point. But that was a Takara Legends kind of Sakamoto-san thing through the Legends EX line. So we will see. We will see. We will see. Maybe we'll get something down the line. I know that like we're reaching a point now where certain characters are just waiting to be done. I still think like, man, where's Botanica? I'm still surprised that they're I understand it's a plant. That's a tough one to kind of do. But I mean, like, look, we got Rock Lords. Maybe we'll see some kind of plant-based modulators, and then we could get a Botanica finally. And that could be their excuse. Or with all this rock stuff, have one plant one. And then, but you could have an excuse to have Botanica finally done as a deluxe class transformer. And because her transformation is kind of bizarre, I mean, it's been done. Mikey and Louie did their Louie specifically with their Bin Studios did one that kind of shows how it could be done. But if you make it a parts former, I could see that, you know? Has Been Hotel is a show on Amazon Prime Video. Okay, there you go. The only streaming stuff I've been watching has been X-Men 97 through dubious means. But Botanica is like one of the few. There's not much left. There really isn't much left when you think about like what other major at least had one episode or two episode characters um haven't had figures of any shape or form, you know? I mean there isn't much. It's Botanica, it's some Quintesson characters, I guess, like some of the Quintesson guard, like specific guards or weird non-transforming characters. But in terms of transforming characters, there really isn't much left. There really, really isn't in animation. When you get into comic books, yeah, there's still a lot to do, you know. But in terms of transforming stuff, Beast Wars Second Artemis, again, non-transforming character. Like the human characters, yeah, that's a whole other or human-esque characters. That's a whole other kettle of fish. But when we're talking like our robot transforming stuff, there isn't much left. Unless you get into comics. In the comics, then it's like, where's Gilthar? Where's like some of our more obscure one-shot Simon Furman characters, like Flame, like not Mistress Flame, Flame the Autobot, you know. Man, we almost had an Artemis too, eh? Through that Lio convoy. Have we gotten an Alpha Q? Yes, we did. It was an Energon figure that had the spinning head and everything. I have that one. It was kind of a wacky one with all the little tentacles and all that. It was a American exclusive. Japan never got that one. Um, Rage in the Beast Wars Neo manga. She transformed. Yeah, there's another. Well, there. Yeah, when you get into comic book and manga stuff, then there's a lot like Lyzak. We got repurposed stuff as Lyzak, but we never got a true Lyzak figure. And I guess we'll call it the wife of Deathsaurus, or was it his sister? I'm not sure. I think it was his sister. Let me check that one. Was it his sister? Deathsaurus Desas. Let's see. Here we go. Oh dear, you are magnificent. Okay, it was his wife. Yeah. There you go. The ladies of the Decepticons. So, you know, like again, they never made figures of her, but like in terms of just animation stuff, they've pretty much done everything. You know, Mark Morales, we had bots. We should have gotten a Botanica. That's what I say. I say that all the time. There was so many plant transformers and bots, and I was like, you could use that as a way to like, okay, bots. You need to have one character that kind of connects to Transformers on an official capacity because we don't have. Like the closest thing bots has to a throwback to anything of other Transformer stuff is that transforming Autobot logo, and even then that character isn't a pre-existing character. So to have Botanica exist in some shape or form in that'd be cool, you know, and it would fit in. Have a little tiny potted plant Botanica, make it that it's a little like, Venus flytrap like her, and then it opens up to the flower kind of face that she has. That's it. That's how I would do it. Airy Nuts with the $3 super chat. Thoughts and theories on the 2025 Prime Generations Prime listings. Well, it's them going, what do we do next? What do we do next? We have trademarks that we could use. Like, people have to understand a lot of those original 13 names ended up as trademarks that were first started during the 2015 2016 Robots in Disguise series. They did a Megatronus toy. They did a Micronus toy. They did, who else did they do? They did Nexus. They did a whole bunch. And it's time to see a lot of those trademarks kind of find their place again. Obviously, Alva Trion, obviously, Vector. Solus now is going to probably finally get her first figure. So, same thing with, Liege Maximo. So it's something that, where do we go next? And to me, that's a new thing. Is it going to be successful on a larger scale? That's debatable. These are a lot of characters that don't have any major history on a mainstream platform, which could be a risky direction. When you do a Bumblebee figure, people know that. When you do a Cliff Jumper figure, yeah, it's a little less, but people still know that. When you do a Beachcomber figure, yeah, that's even more less, but people will still know that. But when you do Original 13, it's like Stuff in the Shadows, a book from the Covenant of Primus. There's only so much that you could pull from that people could have a connection with. It's pretty much hardcore lore obsessed fans like me and the few people that maybe picked up the Covenant of Primus, maybe remembered that one quick scene in Transformers Prime. Maybe the few people that watch Transformers 2015 Robots in Disguise and find those names familiar to them. You know, Who's McAdams? Why does that guy look familiar to McAdams? What is his story? Amalgamous, So that's the way I see it. It's a risky direction. It's something I like as a fan, but I've said it before. Things that I like doesn't necessarily mean they're things that'll make money. There's a difference there. So, at the end of the day, you want to make money, Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron. I think you keep selling those characters until they don't sell anymore, and then you do something different. That's the only way you do it. You go, hey, Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, 1984 makes money. Hey, Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, 1985, it still makes money. Hey, Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, still kind of make money, but we're introducing new characters. Oh, we don't want new characters. We want old characters. Oh, okay. Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Pretenders, Power Masters. Okay, it's still making money. Action Man, it's not making money. G2, it's really not making money. G2 GoBots, it's really not making money. Beast Wars, you have to only when the wheels fall off the car do you really then shift in another direction. And Beast Wars was a good solid 5 years of making money until it wasn't with Beast Machines. Didn't all trademarks get done with the Prime Masters? Yeah, to an extent, but that's why. But now these trademarks have to be revisited. You know, they have to be. So it's them revisiting trademarks, keeping those trademarks fresh. Not all of them were revisited, but most of them were. So we will see, man. We will see. It's to me, if it's legit, it's a very bold direction to put the entire line behind. But I'm sure they're going to put Optimus in there and pepper some top tier characters. It's just to make some of those leader classes. That's where it's like, ooh, the big price point items. Big price point items are supposed to be desirable items, and maybe they're banking on the fact that, okay, liter classes, two per case. The average Walmart might get like 16 cases of that 1 liter. So they might end up with 32 units in their store, and hopefully those 32 units will be bought by 32 hardcore Transformer fans, and that'll be that. And hopefully rinse and repeat across the country and hopefully the globe. But that's still not enough to justify it. You need to be selling in the 10,000 units for a liter class. So I don't know. I like it because it's new, unique, and different. I want to have original 13, but from the business side of it, I don't know if that would be good. How many kids could go, man, I've been waiting for a Micronus figure. I've been waiting forever, Mom. I really wanted that Micronus guy. He's the best. I really want a Nexus Prime. So that's the tough one. Alpha Trion has cred. Vector Prime has cred. Solus, not so much. Prima, sounds like Optimus, looks like Optimus, has the smell and taste test, but still not Optimus. You could kind of maybe get away with it with the visual and the name. So they'll be able to get away with that one. You know, get away with that one at least, but not always the case. Uh, Paul with the $5 super chat. Would Hasbro let Lego do a Botanica? Sorry, the cat's meowing. Lego has plant-based models. Yeah, I saw those when I was at the Lego store today. The problem is if they're going to have the Transformer license, they're going to go with Legendary 7 characters. You're going to get Optimuses, Bumblebees, Megatrons. Even if they want to go outside Legendary 7s, Shockwaves, Jazzes, Prowls. I see them doing Optimus. They're going to do Bumblebee. Maybe Megatron as a tank. Soundwave. What's up, cat? You're meowing too much. Maybe Soundwave, uh, Grimlock, and then you're stretching it into Starscreams and RCs, and it's like already it's like you got the Optimus, you got the Bumblebee. Optimus sold very well. Bumblebee, we'll see how well that sells, and then maybe it'll just be one and done, two and done. We'll see. We will see. But I doubt they'll do a Botanica. You'd have to make your own, much like how it always is, unfortunately. Kevin PH with the $5 super chat. Would it be easier for Hasbro to make figures of the GoBots if they're all released as online exclusives with different transformations? There's a touchy area there with Machine Robo, with Bandai and Plex, because Plex owns the designs and Bandai kind of also is a co-owner of those designs. It's a tough one. That's why, let's pull it up like I always do. That's why you got Crasher. It's called Crasher. It kind of looks like Crasher, but it kind of doesn't look like Crasher. You know what I mean? So they play it safe. They play it safe. If we ever got like a Cykill, it'll turn into a motorcycle. It'll probably have similar characteristics to Cykill, but it wouldn't be that stylized weird motorcycle that Cykill truly was, because now you're going that route of Bike Robo, Machine Robo, and Hasbro and Bandai going, hey, what are you doing over there? You know, now you're going on different territory that we didn't agree to. So we'll see more GoBots in trademark, in name, but they'll be a distance from how they're supposed to look. James Hobson, can I start a trucking company with all the primes I have? You literally could, probably. Between all the Optimuses, the the Motor Masters, the Ultra Magnuses that you got, throwing an overload in there, you know, you'll have plenty. Could Botanica come from a Quintus Prime? I mean, that's one way you could argue. What do you do with a repaint? I could even see a Botanica come from a Quintesson in general. When we had that Quintesson in Earthrise, not Earthrise, in in Earthrise. Excuse me, I was thinking Earthspark. In Earthrise, when we had the Quintesson Earthrise, I'm surprised they didn't try to figure out something that could be retooled into maybe a Botanica or some kind of plant-based transformer. Of course, we just got endless repaints of that mold instead, but it was something I was kind of hoping for. But it is a possibility. You do a Quintus Prime, have all the tentacles and stuff, and then if you work your way around, you could have a Quintus Prime, then you could have an Alpha Q. You do a little homage to Alpha Q. You could have a Botanica. That's one way to go about it. The Forbidden One, go watch that old episode from season 3 with the other Quintessons and their origins and stories. There's a lot. There's a lot that could be done there, but it's them going, first of all, would someone buy a Quintus Prime? Should we take the time and energy and everything to tool that? And here's a sad reality. Here's a really sad reality. The last time we had the original 13 was those prime changers. Let me grab my boy over here, which I believe was the Vector Prime one, but with the Metal Hawk armor. But these guys sold terrible. I love them, but like I said, what I like doesn't exactly move things, and I recognize that. That's why whenever I come up with ideas, it's always the business side of it. Otherwise, it would all just if I was writing my dream Transformer series, it would be like a giant Speedia 500 race with Hot Rod, Blur, Nitro Convoy, and a whole bunch of other characters, and it would probably be boring to 90% of the audience. But to me, it would be cool. But if you ask me to write a story from a business standpoint, it's got to be about the war and the trenches and the character development. You got to put in characters that work with the toys. Okay, put in these characters because these toys will be on the shelf and these are marketable toys. So you fill the line with characters that make sense. You got to put the Grimlocks, you got to put the Bumblebees, you got to put a few of those second tier characters, put a Prowl, put a Jazz, put a Shockwave, put other Seeker Jets. It's just how it is until it isn't. T-Formers 2002, I still like the idea of having a giant Hot Wheels Ultra Magnus car carrier that holds to 20 to 30 cars. Well, they have those right now. You have those big Hot Wheels ones. Just pick up one of those trucks that has like the extending Magnus carriers. Then you can paint it white, give it some blue on it, and you're good to go with some red accents. Beautiful. I'm very much looking forward to those. I'm a big diecast guy. I wish I could show you guys. I have almost the entire run of RPMs when they came out, and I just have them lining completely like my entire wall. There was probably like, gosh, how many RPMs were there? There had to be at least like 50 different releases, if not more. There's got to be more than 50 here. Um, and I picked them all up except for like one or two San Diego Comic Con exclusive. I think I'm missing the Lockdown also, which was pretty tough to get. But I love that line. I love little diecast cars. They're cheap, they're affordable, they're fun, spinning wheels. Again, that's from my childhood. I love that stuff. So Prince of Function, Proto Man, everything would be Hot Rod. Well, again, if I did a series, and it was for business reasons, it wouldn't have Hot Rod in it. He'd probably show up in season 2 or season 3. But you start with the heavy hitters. You start with what's going to sell. You start with the guys. Do you know how many times I bump into people and they tell me like, "Oh, I got into Transformers because of some show that I didn't expect." Like I got into Transformers because of the second movie, or I got into Transformers because of Robots in the Skies 2015, and because Bumblebee was in it. And I remember Bumblebee as a kid, and I liked Bumblebee. And then I saw these other characters, Strong Arm and everything, and I didn't know who Strong Arm is, so I was a little confused. But then I saw Grimlock, and I'm like, oh, I remember Grimlock. So nostalgia has a lot to do with it. It's a very powerful thing. So it's something where I feel one day we will probably get something fresh and unique, but not until the wheels have been burned out on the old. And unfortunately, the old is still making money. Look, we're all excited about buying another Superion. We're excited about buying more top tier characters. Look at the pre orders that we just talked about. They're all top tier characters. Look at the Hot Wheels stuff we're talking about. It's all the top tier characters. You know, this beautiful gold super chat that we just got right now from Mick Tankies, the $20 gold super chat. Thank you, Mr. Mick Tankies. Devastator, part of the Legendary Seven. Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Bumblebee, Grimlock, and Devastator. Legendary Seven. Devastator is, look, you want a Lego Devastator. They did a fantastic Creo Devastator. What was cool about the Creo Devastator was you got the actual combining Creo Devastator, and then you got a little minifig Devastator too. So get that Devastator. And I think there's a special bonus set that also came with an Ironhide too from Toys R Us back in the day. So there technically is a building block Devastator done by Creo, and I think it's pretty awesome. I have that one. I loved Creo when it came out. Great stuff. Great stuff. And I love that all their blind pack stuff was coded, which made my life so easy. But if you want a Lego Devastator, I would wait. I mean, we have the Optimus. The Optimus did well. The Bumblebee is going to be coming. Let's see how that does. Number one, I'm curious what the price is going to be on the Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is going to obviously have to be way shorter than Optimus, like at least, up to Optimus's hip. So I hopefully it'll make it cheaper. It'll be under the Lego Ideas line, so that means it's not going to be cheap. It'll just be cheaper, because Lego is never cheap. I was looking at that Art and Senna Lego set. I was like, ooh, I want that. I really want that Art and Senna Formula One Lego set. But I'm like, do I $100 want it? I don't know. I just want that minifig of Art and Senna. That's so cool. It has his quote on there and everything. God, Lego, you're taking my money. I don't even really like Lego that much, but man, that's some good stuff. Um, T-Formers 2002, I saw the Creo Devastator set with Ironhide and Truid several trips to the store, but never get it. Yeah, like, because I think there was the regular release, and then there was the Toys R Us exclusive that also came with Ironhide as a bonus. And I think they also had like a thing too where you could get a bonus G2 Devastator minifig. I know I have all of them. Like I have all of them here. There's like and they had like three different color waves. They had like the G2 orange, the G2 yellow, and then the traditional colors. A lot of really good stuff. A lot of really good stuff, you know? I miss Creo. It's a shame it didn't do well. The last Creo set we got was that 4-pack from Universal Studios. Never picked that up. I probably should have picked that up. Maybe I could probably find it online. Maybe some people bought it. Bumblebee is rumored around $90. Geez, so he's only like slightly cheaper than Optimus. Gosh, he better be complex. Like Optimus has the opening chest with the Matrix, the Energon axe, the gun, the backpack, and then that whole transformation, and he's large. Bumblebee's gonna have what? He's gonna have his gun, maybe little pea shooter. He's gonna be half the size. What other accessories is it gonna come with? Battle mask and non-battle mask, like toy accurate and non-toy accurate? I don't know. Unless it's not G1 Bumblebee and it's movie Bumblebee, then that's a different argument. Then then everything makes sense. But man, it's a shame that it's that much. Well, in that case, I don't know if it's going to do as well. Then you're putting prices that are going to make people go like, "Ooh, I like the Optimus, but I don't know about the Bump. Maybe I'll wait for when it goes on clearance because I remember the Optimus showed up at Costco. So that's something scary. People have price memory with things like that. Kevin PH with $2. How will Generations Prime Nexus Prime work? When we get enough molds. Um, like when you look at the original Nexus Prime, you go, okay, what was the centerpiece of Nexus Prime? It was technically what would have been, I guess, Onslaught from the Bruticus. So if we get a Bruticus at some point in the future, guess what the Nexus Prime centerpiece will be? It's going to be the Onslaught mold. It's going to be, pieces and parts, building it up. That's all it is. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be some extensive retool using pieces and parts of the other guys, the tank piece, the helicopter piece, the jet piece. So you're going to have one of those jets that are used with Superion right now. Put one of those aside, maybe Air Raid. That's going to be one piece of Nexus Prime that's going to be used in a repaint retool. All the others are more of that Bruticus nature. So like a helicopter, a tank. I'm just looking at my Nexus Prime right now. Helicopter, a tank, and a and a what do you call it? Another kind of vehicle, if you will. So we'll see. We will see. Lego Optimus was 179.99. Yeah, but didn't he go like what was his half price? What was his half price? Because I remember he showed up at Costco. And what was he going for? Because I remember he was like really cheap at one point with Costco. He went on clearance. And then everyone was picking him up that way, unfortunately. But it's funny because it sold very well, and then it ended up in Costco, which is like at like a closeout price. I don't know, I have like, I have it. I liked it. It was cool, but at the same time, it's like I hope people are excited about Bumble because if the Bumblebee doesn't sell well, they might go, ooh, do we want to do Soundwave? Ooh, do we want to do Starscream? Um, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Only got 15 minutes left. Man, flying today. Again, reminder, guys, if you had not hit your local comic store, maybe check out tomorrow. Free comic book day. We had free comic book day today. He was a sub $100 he was? Wow, it was that cheap. That's probably where I was thinking. $100 if you had a Costco membership. It's worth it for the pizza and the chicken alone. Think about it, right? Well, when you think about it, because Costco membership's what, $65 for the year? So you pay the $65 and then you buy the Optimus for $100. It's still cheaper than buying it brand new from the Lego store. So that's pretty rad. And you get to go have the pizza and the hot dog and the chicken and get yourself some berries and some nuts for a good healthy breakfast. Joseph Ritter sitting outside next to the fire in 80 degrees weather, roasting marshmallows. Yummy! I'm jealous. I haven't roasted marshmallows in years. I would love to do that again. And no one come up to me with a marshmallow and a lighter. Lego dislikes military stuff. They do it all the time. They say that. They say that, and then they turn around and do that kind of stuff. So, they like spaceships. So they'll just make Starscream a spaceship. They'll do Tetrajet Starscream. You know? They might not like military, but they like giant robots. So, Ari Nuts with the $2 super chat. Hope for the Prime's alt mode or play. Hope for Prime's alt mode or play pattern. Which one are you talking though about, Ari? Which Prime are you referring to? Are you referring to the Generations Prime stuff? Which one are you referring to? You could just post again. You don't have to super chat. I'll see it. Horned Owl, not really fair to compare future product on clearance prices. Found some locations sometimes in the past. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. That's why it's something where I found it really weird how well the Optimus sold. The pre-orders were crazy, and yet still it ended up at Costco. So like there probably was some kind of deal there. And you see that with Costco because you'll see a lot of the Lego. I know the Lego Friends set ended up at Costco. The Office, that set ended up at Costco. What else was there? Was a few other big Lego idea stuff that ended up at Costco, and it's like so much cheaper there. So if we get a Bumblebee, they'll probably be a really good Christmas product to put for Costco. Never stood store membership. Tried visiting Costco a few years ago. Not knowing you had to pay to get in. Don't live near one, but it could be worth it. It depends on your lifestyle. If you're someone like to me, that $65 a month is worth it because a lot of the stuff that I buy there in bulk are stuff that I eat regular on the schedule. Like number one, they're probably the cheapest place to get fruits and vegetables. So if you're someone who wants to eat healthy, Costco is a must because you could get berries and bananas and everything way cheaper. Nuts, all kinds of health related stuff in terms of protein workout stuff and everything. They're great. And then this is the thing people don't take advantage of. If you're a person who travels, Costco has great travel plans. If you're someone who wears glasses, not me, but people in my family, they have great optometrists. Costco has a whole pharmacy section, so you can get all your pharmacy stuff there. I shave all the time. Blades are cheaper through Costco. So if you find the lifestyle stuff involved, and of course, most importantly, water, if you find the lifestyle stuff there, the literally it pays for itself just in that. Just in like that stuff. It'll pay for that $65 and then some. Then you get access to the pizza. You get access to the chicken, which is amazing. They're rotisserie chicken for like what is it, like $6 in the States, which you'd be stupid not to buy. You know? There's great stuff there. I mean, I get Brussels sprouts there by the bag. It's like $5. It's so cheap compared to any other supermarket. So good. Bananas are cheaper there. So much. Star Wars saved Lego. Bionicle saved Lego, then Star Wars. Star Wars was one aspect of saving Lego. Ashnud, they do not. They even pulled the Osprey because it was military. Only thing they touched was the Sky Crane. Okay, and I don't pay attention too much to Lego, unfortunately. I get like this and that. If they do like a Spyrius, I'll pay attention again, but They did a Lego minifig set recently. It had Blacktron and Mtron in it, so that kind of got my attention. The '90s sets. Horned Owl by that matrix, you could find a Lego Optimus for $30 at estate sales or flea markets or Ross. Oh, I just lost the rest of it. Flea markets or Ross, so you could find a Lego Optimus 50. Got to be lucky in that regard. Well, we'll see what happens with the Bumblebee. See, some people are saying it'll probably have. Maybe Costco will have them. Maybe Costco will have Bumblebee. I could see it if it comes out before Christmas. It could probably be a Christmas item because Costco always really bolsters their toy stock around the Christmas season. All of a sudden, that one toy aisle that they have become two big toy aisles, and they get the really heavy hitter items. And Optimus was part of that last time, and ridiculously cheap. We'll see. We will see. We will see. Joseph, buy Transformers and Costco's and Costco gold bars. That's for investing. It's true. Costco sells their gold bars there if you're into investing in gold. It's cheaper there too than buying from the bank. Bank is always the worst, but I'm not going to get into investing right now. That's definitely talking a whole other language. If you want to learn Transformers and Transformer finance, that's what the Patreon is for. You know, save you some money and make some money on your hobby. T-Formers 2002, I have to drive almost an hour even to find a Costco. It's not worth much to me. Well, again, it's different for everybody. Everyone has a different walk of life and background and location and opportunities. Not everyone can hit, 10 Walmarts and 10 Toys R Us's and 10 this in their region. I'm lucky I'm in Montreal. Major metropolitan city, anywhere in the world, Montreal is in the top 5, you know? So I'm lucky like that. That's why I can't use myself as an example compared to say someone who lives in Plattsburgh, let's say, or Canton, Ohio. Aaron, um, don't worry, Aaron. You're going back to Rhode Island. So, but we'll see what happens. Airy Nut says I was referring to the 2025 toy listings. Okay. Well, I mean, the alt modes are they're going to have to figure something out. It's going to definitely be something that's more Cybertronian. I mean, if you look at Solus, they'll have to, what do they'll do? We associate her with, the hammer and creation. Maybe she'll be some kind of Cybertronian space jet, or she'll be some kind of vehicle, or some kind of like maybe a steam hammer. Who knows? It's hard to say, unfortunately. Hard to say. I mean, again, it's a weird place to put product. I could understand if it was like one like getting Vector Prime and that's it, getting Alpha Trion and that's it, in a whole wave of stuff. But to make it the overall arcing theme, that's a little bit risque. Even though I would love it, it's risque. It really is. It's something where it's like, man, if I was going to give people Solus, I would give a 13 member once every second wave of a generations line. And it might take 3 to 4 to 5 years to build up to that because you might make one a commander or make one a leader. So you could kind of maybe triple it, but take 3 years to complete them. But I think that's a safer bet than doing it all in one shot and maybe alienating an entire year of audience. And considering how Transformers is one of the better sellers for Hasbro, in their portfolio, you don't want to hurt that golden goose too much. So it's a little risque to do that, you know. Yeah, Transformer finance. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I actually have go into the I have a literally have a um I have a playlist that's called Transformer Finance, where we talk about the ups and downs in the hobby and, buying stuff that goes up, buying stuff that goes down. You know, I'm not saying you're going to make money buying and selling Transformers. You'll make some money. You're not going to be buying a house doing it, but you're going to make some money. But it's more so being smart about it and how things go up and down. If you want to make money and you want to invest, it's not from scalping toys. It's not worth the time and money and gas. Let's put it that way. Transformer finance happens more of an accident more than something intentional. It's more just, hey, I bought this Roboto figure, and then accidentally, all of a sudden they started to become the worth money. Should I get rid of it? What's the current market right now for that Roboto? Because it shot up in value. That's what Transformer Finance is about, is informing and educating people on the value of certain figures as they go up and down and the right opportunities to get rid of them, you know, to live it, and like you would say. But it's always a happy accident. You know, if you're someone who has a Netflix Soundwave, get rid of it now if you want to make money, because later on he's going to not be worth that. So that window of opportunity to make money from someone on eBay is going to disappear. It's the same thing if you have like Cosmos from Velocitron Speed 500. Get rid of it because the opportunities are going to disappear later on. And you're like, man, I could have got 150 bucks for this thing. And now he's like down like 50. So get those opportunities while you can. And we have 5 minutes left in the live stream, and then we are going to call it quits today. But I want to hear what's happening with you people. I want to hear what's happening. It's been a great day. It's been a great day. I have a huge stack of comic books to read tonight, which makes me very very happy. The side of my bed is just gonna a huge stack of books. So, what are you saying, Ninjatron? Roboto ain't worth much, but Zabugo is worth big bucks. Just got one. Is he? I don't know. I don't pay attention to the He-Man. I just like Roboto, so I just always pick him up and I keep him close by because he's so cool. He's so cool. He's so awesome. I love him. I love old school robots with turning gears and stuff. James Hopkins, mine isn't worth anything anyways. It's yellowed badly. But I'm just saying, look, hey, if the opportunity presents itself, there's certain figures that if you sell them now, you could cash in now. I mean, imagine a guy who was sitting on a whole bunch of leader class Grimlocks from Studio Series 86. Sell those now, bro, because when those reissues come out, you're going to miss your opportunity. Man, Studio Series Grimlock was selling for like what, $250 at one point? I mean, good lord. Get your money while you can. Sometimes it's crazy what people pay for, and they shouldn't have to pay that. They shouldn't, because Hasbro will recognize the demand and now they'll do reissues. I mean, it in a lot of ways it's kind of great that they have stuff like what was Buzzworthy Bumblebee because it was a good platform to do that. It's a very good platform to do that. The recolor of Roboto, you mean I don't have him here. I have him upstairs. The Kane figure. The Kane Roboto, which is awesome. Doesn't have the gears though. It would have been so cool if Kane had that. The gears in his chest. But yeah, great stuff. Great stuff otherwise. I mean, what else did I pick up? What else? I picked up, they had some Beyblades there, and because it was 30% off some of the toys, so I picked up some of the Beyblades they had there, some of the vintage ones. What else did I get? What else did I get? I know I got pins. I got a lot of cool pins. Those were cool. T-Formers 2002. Speaking of high price TFs, I got my on Galaxy Force Red Excellion. Might end up getting that. I have that one. I have it sealed with the DVD. I never opened it up. And then I have the prototype one that I bought many years ago, which actually has a different color scheme on the wheels. I got it from a Japanese collector who managed to get a whole bunch of samples of them. Like it was like the prototypes for the DVD versions that had different coloring. I mean, it looks cool. I still think the American one is kind of more hot rod esque, and I kind of like that. But I mean, hey, you get the DVD with it, so that's kind of a bonus. And the DVD is like a box set for it to fit all the other DVDs, so that's pretty cool. Get a good deal on that if you can. Don't pay more than like 200, 300, I guess. Horned Owl, I really hope to get an extra sludge and convert it into paddles, or maybe one day we'll get paddles. Who knows? Who knows? James Hopkins, is Hasbro doing reissues of recent development, or they do it on a regular basis? Well, now what they're doing, and I'm telling you, like BMAC and Mark are paying attention to it. They pay attention to when certain figures go crazy in value. Because think about it, if you're Hasbro, right, and you go, wait a minute, we're selling Grimlock for $69.99 and his secondary market is like $250. We want that money. So if people are willing to pay 250 bucks and it for it to get up there with like 21 people fighting to bid on it to get it to 250 bucks, they rather just take the time. Again, it takes time. You have to put it out in the factory and everything, but they rather take the time and do a reissue and get that money instead of the secondary market getting it. You know, there's no promise to the fans. Don't worry, buy these figures. It'll be an investment. No, if they could get their money, they're going to reissue it. The only thing that they've stayed true to that is the HasLab stuff. Joseph Rude, the $5 super chat. Did you hear the new He-Man movie has a 10-year-old Prince Adam living on Earth, live action? Look, aren't we kind of over this now? Aren't we kind of over this now? Aren't we? You know, He-Man had a Netflix series. It had a TV series recently for a younger demo. It's going to have this now. I think we're kind of over this. It's kind of like what's going on with Thundercats. They gave Thundercats the greatest opportunity with that 2011 series, which I actually liked. I actually liked that series. Toy line was not bad. What through Bandai show wasn't bad. Had a video game, and it went. And then they did Thundercats Roar to double. You know, so certain things are just kind of snake bit, unfortunately, as brands like GI Joe. It's hard to find toys will sell well to the older demo, but in terms of fiction, finding a hard place. Ashnote, I'm holding out on hope to get a sludge sub 30 to do the convention. Well, we'll see. We will see. Joseph Ritter, oops. You meant to say Prince Adam. Did you write Princess Adam? I read it as Prince Adam also anyway, so I know what you're talking about. It's not Alora. Timmy K. Poindexter, what's for Sunday brunch, Proto? I don't know. Probably I want to make. I have bok choy, which is like I guess the best way to put a Chinese broccoli, I guess. I have bok choy in the fridge. I'm definitely going to make that with rice, maybe with some kind of meat. I'm not sure yet. I got a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow because I picked up all that stuff from Free Comic Book Day, so I have to do a lot of consolidating and sorting in the collection. And then, of course, in June, I got to start planning all my inventory because July is going to be nuts with TFCon, San Diego Comic Con, running my own shows. It's going to be crazy. So, but I'm probably just going to make something. I'll make something with bok choy, some rice, some greens. Maybe I'll probably put a carb in there with the rice. We'll see. A rice noodle. I'm not sure yet. Just something healthy and light. That's what it'll be. Breakfast is always the same, more or less. It's always nuts and berries. Every time. Nuts and berries. Once in a while, I get a banana, but try to keep it as healthy as possible. And for a good bowel movement, get a lot of fiber. Stuff that's important to a person when they get older. Trust me, it'll happen to you. Is Aaron here? Yeah, probably. Aaron's quiet in the background, shaking his head at all of this. Just going, what is going on? What have I done with my life that I'm spending 2 hours here? Listen to this psychopath talk about Transformers for 2 hours. Aaron's probably still here. And there's another individual from Hasbro that's also in the chat today. I don't know if he's on invisible with the member list. Could you get a member list on your end? Are you guys able to see the member list? I can. I don't know if you guys can. I don't know how it works, but he's in the shadows. But yeah, we are done more or less for tonight. We are at the 2 hour and 3 minute mark. So again, thank you all for coming for the live stream. We topped out at about, I think, 127, 130 people. Again, great turnout of people. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff as always. But again, thank you all for coming. If you want to keep supporting the podcast, best way to do that is through Patreon. There's a link down there below to join the Transformers Slag podcast Patreon. It's probably the best way to support the podcast. Gives you access to the Discord. It gives you access to contacting me easily, especially through the Discord. If you have any questions, a lot of times people have all kinds of questions and they contact me through that because I don't really respond through comments and everything like that. I just don't have time. But Discord, I check out I check out my PC once in a while and I answer on Discord and stuff. So that's usually the best way to contact me if you have any questions or comments or anything. And it gets you access to the Discord where you could save money on your hobby because we have the sales threads, we have all kinds of stuff. Love it all. Again, join the Discord. If Discord's not your thing, of course, we have all those beautiful green names that were in the chat today. Those are the YouTube members. They're the ones that ask all these great questions today and all that kind of stuff on top of the super chat people. So you could join that too if that's your thing. Or people double dip, they get the YouTube membership and they get the Patreon. There's a lot of double dippers in the chat today. So it is what it is. But thank you again for supporting the podcast. Thanks again just for hanging out and just chilling like villains. If you're bored, we have a whole bunch of other segments that we recorded this week that are much more deeper and gets into all the stuff we talked about today on visuals. If you want to know more about the Hot Wheels stuff, I did a pretty good segment explaining the case assortments and what to look for. So you have other stuff to look at. And failing all of that, go check out Aaron. Aaron's channel has some good content too. Me and him talking for an hour about Energon, his cracking of the Armada toys. Go buy some stuff from Symbiote Studios. They always have delicious plush. That's really good. I'm out of here. Thank you all for the love and support. Take care. Peace.